Welcome to Uplift You. This month's focus is on well-being. We invited Savyna Darby on this podcast to answer some important questions around this topic. Savyna, a versatile professional with 2 decades of experience in traditional and immersive technologies, runs her own production company, the White Lotus Picture Company. Actively involved as a producer and creative director for the upcoming feature film, The Boy Who Belonged to the Sea, marking a noteworthy chapter in her evolving career. Savyna, are there practices or techniques you find helpful in maintaining focus and clarity during the filmmaking process?
It's more before and after, because when you're in the filmmaking process, you have to be in the filmmaking process, and there's so many things flying around. It's times like these that I'm grateful for the traditions that were passed down to me by my ancestors, my grandparents, my parents, and things that I willingly share is how to take care of oneself when things get a bit too much to handle. I lean very heavily on Ayurveda, which is the science of life in India, but thank God, not just in India, everywhere else now, because we all have access to it. But it generally starts with some of the self-help that can happen. There's so many. I mean, it's through food, which I tend to cook mostly Ayurvedic way, but it's little things that I think they're little things, but the impacts are huge. At the end of a big day, whether it was on a small film or writing or doing something, is I tend to come home and always have a salt bath, because my grandmother used to say, no matter how bad it is, if you go to the sea and you take a dip, the ocean sucks it all out and you can start again. Now, I don't have an ocean in my bathroom, but I do have a bathtub. So I put a lot of salt, and I tend to oil my body, which is what they do in Ayurveda called Abhyanga, small from head to toe. Oil your hair and the sole of your feet, because when you oil your head, your scalp, and the head, your head and your foot, it draws all the negative energy that's accumulated. It's almost a static that you build up in the body, and it kind of comes out. And obviously, the salt bath, it's chemistry, it's osmosis, region of low concentration to a region of high, or high and low. I don't remember which one it is, but it works. So it draws all the negativity from the body into the water, and then you watch it drain. The other thing that I do, which I try to do as much as possible, and I've missed out so much lately, has been my regular Monday morning class of yoga with Tara Lee, who's the most incredible teacher I have ever met. And I've done yoga so many places, but Tara is incredible, and her class is essentially the closest thing you can get to the 8 limbs of yoga in one class, from breathing to being very present to moving, but also respecting yourself and your body and how you feel that day. You're not being judged. It's a very safe space, and I think that's important. The other thing that recently I started doing again is praying. I used to do that when I was little. It was part of my daily routine, but I never really asked why. And although it's kind of like religious on the premise, it's more of a way of being and living, where my grandfather and my father and my mother used to get us to do what they call sandhya, which is lighting a lamp in the morning before you set out in your day, and you focus on the lamp and you praise, but you're not praising idols. You're really praising the image of yourself that you see in the idol. So it's your own qualities. I guess it's a kind of affirmation. And then in the evening before dinner, you did the same at sundown, where you lit a light to remind you that there can be light and darkness. So these are these premises and philosophies that came out through it. And I'd stopped doing that a few years ago when my brother died of COVID, and not of COVID, but during COVID. And I was deeply lost after that. It's only recently that I felt that I was ready to see what was out there. It wasn't so much the worshipping, it was the ability to close my eyes after looking at a lamp, and to be able to look really deep inside. What's hurting, what's there, what's not there, what can I work on, what is still salvageable for me to do something meaningful out of it. So I find that since I've started to do that, I'm a lot calmer and grounded. It doesn't mean that I'm, the Dalai Lama when I walk around. I'm not. I'm a volcano. I'm all those different things. But I have these tools that were gifted to me, ancestral wise. The gift of ancestral care, to be able to go through life, because after all, life is hard. It is hard. It is suffering. It's a whole lot of those different things. And I'm not the Buddha. I'm not going to stop and go in a cave and meditate, although I'd love to do that. But to be able to get each day and wrap up the day with something that was at least meaningful and valuable, and to have the courage the following day to get up and go, I can do this, then you do it. And I think these are things that are super helpful. And if anyone out there needs tips on things on, how to take care of, their food or their mental health, and I'm always ready to share insight because it's been helpful to me. I'm sure it will be helpful for others.
Thanks for listening and stay tuned for next week's Me Moment. Make sure to subscribe and join our community.